supported. Conservative talk without apology. The Regular Joe Show with Joe Gigante. Weekday evenings at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
Super Talk 1270, you're tuned to Talk of the Town. I'm Steve Bakken along with Sherry Haugen-Hoffert, and you might know her better as Public Service Commission here in North Dakota. She's one of the commissioners, but she also has another hat she wears. Well, she's got a lot of different hats. In fact, she brought me a hat, which is kind of nice, too. But she does wear a lot of hats, and one of the things that Christmas time means is the wreaths out at the Veterans Cemetery. That's one of those big events that, if you haven't been part of it, always a good time to go out there and pay a little homage to our veterans and really have a deep meaning of what that means. And in the past, I know families get together. It's part of their Christmas rituals and their protocols that they do over Christmas. It's like kids come back from college. It's like, okay, well, that's what we do as a family. That's one of the events. But you guys have run into a little bit of a shortfall this time around. Always had a great turnout, great support. Always had a little bit of a reserve in the past that's been able to manage this. But as our veteran cemetery has grown, now we are at the point where we have to replace some wreaths, and they cost money and they're getting more expensive, just like everything else has.
That's correct, Steve. Generally, going into this time of the year, our reserves have been pretty good. But we do fundraising every single year. We look for sponsorships for a wreath, but this year we're down some. We're down more, so we're really...
Costs go up and support either stays the same or maybe lags a little bit, and that means there's a problem.
That's correct. Our wreaths did go up last year. They're $17 a piece. We have to place our order by December 1st, and they get trucked in, all the wreaths, and it is our goal to have a wreath purchase for every headstone out at the Veterans Cemetery.
So what does that mean for listeners out there? How many wreaths do you guys put on the headstones?
Right now, we need 9,000 wreaths. And I don't know the exact amount where we're at, but I would say we need to raise money to cover every headstone right now out at the Veterans Cemetery. So I'm going to put the goal out there. We need to raise money to cover 9,000 headstones out there and wreaths.
One of the cool things, too, because we have veterans from across the state that are out at the Veterans Cemetery. And, you know, when you have a loved one that is entombed somewhere other than the hometown, and that means somebody has to kind of take care of them. And I have talked to more families that have come and visited during this time because they are so happy to see that what the community, the Bismarck Mandan community does with wreaths across America, making sure that every one of those headstones has a wreath. It's just a phenomenal sight.
It is. And on December 14th will be the program on placing the wreath. First, there's a program, and every branch is represented. And then family members or friends, whoever donated a wreath for a specific headstone, there's an opportunity for those who have purchased a wreath to first go out there and place the wreath on their loved ones. We do a call out to a lot of volunteers that day because it takes a lot of people, and the volunteerism is just outstanding. And then after the families or those that have purchased a wreath for a designated headstone, then the rest of the volunteers go out and we make sure a wreath is placed at every headstone. And in order for us to do it, for every headstone, we do count on donations. And again, each wreath is $17.
So I want to give it a little shout out to the volunteers, because this doesn't happen without the volunteers. And whether it's somebody going online, we'll talk about that in a minute, and giving a monetary donation, volunteerism, helping out. But you've got a lot of families, a lot of service organizations and service groups, and of course the Civil Air Patrol really does an amazing job orchestrating all of this?
That's correct. So, first of all, I want to give a shout out to the Civil Air Patrol that organizes this. They do all the logistics on opening up the donations, keeping us informed, ordering the wreaths, having horse trailers there where the wreaths are. So strategically, throughout the Veteran Cemetery, there will be horse trailers set up where volunteers can go and get the wreaths. And we've had in the past a lot of snow. So people have been out there shoveling snow away from the headstones so family members can see where their loved ones are at. And for us volunteers who are placing wreaths, they are placed strategically in an orderly fashion on each headstone. And I've seen organizations, individuals, Boy Scout troops out there. We are so thankful for all the volunteers that come out and support Wreaths Across America on placing those wreaths.
So do you have any sway with the weather this year? Because I've been out there when it's been freezing rain and heavy snow and freezing cold and T-shirts. So a little bit of everything. So,
One of the hats I have, Steve, does not control the weather. Like you, I've been out there like a nice fall day, and there are other days the only thing that you could see is the white of my eyes. And this is where I'll also say the Civil Air Patrol does good monitoring of weather, and safety is always first. One of the things with the event on December 14th, we ask people to carpool because parking is not in abundant. So if you could carpool, bring your whole family out there, bring your neighbor, your friends, whoever, come on out and help support placing of the wreaths on December 14th at 11 a.m.
How do people volunteer if they want to give their time? And we'll get into the financial aspect here in a second. But if somebody wants to volunteer placing wreaths or helping, if we got a lot of snow, cleaning some of that stuff off, how do they do that? Because
they show up.
Just show up.
They show up that day by 11. The program's going to start at 11. So, again, grab a car full of friends, family, come out, carpool, but be out at the North Dakota Veterans Cemetery by 11 a.m. Participate in the program and then the placing of the wreaths.
All right, now, like we said, the cost of the wreaths have gone up, just like everything else has gone up lately, and that's put you guys in a little bit of a financial strain to make sure that every veteran is covered with a wreath. Every veteran's headstone out there has a wreath on it. So what's the process if somebody wants to donate the $17 for a wreath, or they have somebody in particular they want to make sure a wreath is taken care of? How do you go through that process?
Well, there's two ways. First of all, you can send a check and you send it to, so I'm just going to pause, go get a pen and piece of paper. Wreaths Across America, care of Bismarck Civil Air Patrol, P.O. Box 2104, Bismarck, North Dakota 58502. The one thing I'm going to say, emphasize, do not call the North Dakota Veterans Cemetery for information or dropping checks off there. There's two ways to sponsor, either by mail or online. It's PayPal. And I'm going to give you a website to go, and it's pretty easy to follow, but there are steps. It's nd030.cap. That's C as in cat, A as in apple, P as in Paul.gov. And that's going to bring you to the website, and there's going to be how to sponsor a wreath, but you're going to go down to PayPal and go on to there. And please note, you don't need an account. You can sign on as a guest. And on that site, you're going to have, it's going to be the Bismarck location. You can identify if you want to give to a certain person. And then it's going to be how many wreaths do you want to sponsor? And you're going to give a credit card number. But please note, you could sign on as a guest and sponsor a wreath through PayPal.
Sherry, thanks for coming in. nd030.cap.gov.
That's correct.
Perfect. Hey, if you can help out, great way to give back this Christmas season, especially back to the veterans. And thank you to you and the Civil Air Patrol for doing a great job with Wreaths Across America and out at our Veterans Cemetery, making sure every veteran out there has a wreath on their headstone. Once again, that website, nd030.cap.gov. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town. I'm Steve Bakken, broadcasting live from Ice Fest outside the parking lot here at Shields. This is their first annual outdoor Ice Fest under the big tent. You can't miss it. It's heated. Actually, it's kind of cool. We're right next to the heater. Your chance to register to win over $5,000 in prizes and gift cards, including a spot in the sold-out Mobridge Ice Fishing Tournament, November 15th and 16th. Today, we are here 9:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. with Ice Fest. There will be seminars, sales on clam, Rapala, Garmin, Eskimo, K-Drill, Ice Auger, Markham Technologies, and StrikeMaster. All kinds of good stuff. You will not believe what they've got packed into this tent. And by the way, the electronics are unbelievable. You got to check out the electronics this year. And first guest joining us on the program right now, we've got Tyler Newt from JT Outdoors. Tyler, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, a little bit of background. Where did your love and passion for ice fishing start?
I guess
because you're a Bismarck guy, right?
I am a Bismarck guy, yeah, Steve. Grew up fishing, hunting, doing everything with my dad and grandpa. Born and raised in North Dakota. Been around JT for roughly 8 years, I suppose. But, yeah, that's really where my passion come from, helping people get on the ice, get out in the outdoors and have a good time.
Okay, I ask you after the secret question, and when is that going to be this year?
Sometime between now and when the river opens and the spring walleye bite happens on the river.
Good. I'm not complaining about this fall, but I know a lot of the ice fishermen are going, what's going on here? It's a little crazy.
It is crazy, and it seems like every year we say it gets later and later, and then all of a sudden one day it just happens. The wind stops blowing in North Dakota for 2 or 3 days, and we have hard water.
Yeah, I don't remember what that's like with the wind that's not blowing. All right, okay.
Yeah,
so
probably shouldn't talk about the wind too much.
Probably not. Okay, so JT Outdoors, fill us in. What exactly is JT Outdoors for those that may not be familiar?
So JT Outdoors is a Minnesota-based company. It's a little garage project that Joe Bricko started years and years ago. Started with a hot box, evolution to a snare, and then as the staff grew and following grew, the rods grew. Honestly, I don't even know how many ice rods we have today. We got a couple new ones in the booth today, something that's never been seen before. It's been tested.
And you guys really fall into that category of custom rods.
Yes, technique-specific rods.
Right.
We've really went away from the true custom rod. As the business is growing, doing custom stuff is harder and harder. We do some custom colors from time to time. We do have some of those in the booth, but technique-specific, we really spend time on the water, on the ice, designing, tuning, feeling what really works.
Novice ice fishermen that may not be familiar, technique-specific, what does that mean?
It means the exact rod for exactly what lure you want to put on it and what caliber of fish you're catching. So if you're going to catch a 6-pound walleye or a 1.5-pound walleye, it really takes a different rod. It takes a different bait, different presentation. They react differently. We have the rod that's specific for that technique.
Okay, one of the places you've gotten into is the lake trout side of things. We think about, okay, there's a little bit of a lake trout or salmon bite up at Sakakawea, Fort Peck, and I know a lot of friends that go to Fort Peck for walleye fishing, but really that's become an incredible lake trout fishery as well, through the ice especially.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, Fort Peck is probably my second passion when it comes to fishing. It's my favorite place to go ice fishing. It's, really gained a lot of popularity. And to go with that, we have a brand new Black Rain Heavy with a reel seat, and we have it in the booth. Shields just got them in this week, and they're here, and they are on sale.
So if you're going to say what your favorite technique, because I think I kind of figured out you're a lake trout guy and you like catching those big lunkers through the ice. For somebody just getting into the sport, what would be the words of wisdom that you would tell them?
Find a good guide, or find some friends that do a lot of lake trout fishing. But lake trout is a lot different than,
because we don't
fishing.
think about lake trout a lot in the winter in North Dakota.
We don't think, a lot of people don't think about them at all. They're a very temperamental fish, much more than a walleye at times. They'll swim up and look at a bait. They'll come up 40, 50 feet in the water column chasing a bait, and they won't hit it.
And they go, yeah, I don't think so. That one's not seasoned well enough, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tyler Newt with JT Outdoors. We're broadcasting live from the first annual Shields Ice Fest outdoors in the parking lot. Just look for the big tent. You can't miss us around the corner of Expressway and 3rd. I'm Steve Bachana on Super Talk 1270.
All about the pets. Steve Dale's Pet World. Saturday afternoon at 4 on Super Talk 1270. Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Boggan, broadcasting from Shields, right out in the parking lot. Look for the big tent. You can't miss it. It is the first annual Ice Fest taking place in the parking lot. First annual outdoor Ice Fest. New and exciting things with Shields this year. You don't want to miss this. The tent is heated. They were kind enough to put us by the heaters, so hey, I'm a happy guy because it's just like being in an ice house. Your chance to register for over $5,000 in prizes and gift cards, including a spot in the sold-out Mobridge Ice Fishing Tournament. Also, today and tomorrow, we're going to be here today from 9:30 until 7 p.m. with the tent open. The tent will be open tomorrow from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Lots of seminars, lots of things to learn, lots of new products out on the market that you want to check out. And one of the many, many vendors that are here, Kurt Reef with PK Lures. Kurt, thanks for joining us.
Hey, a lot of great deals down here today under the tent. I don't even know all the deals around, but I do know all fishing lures are 25% off. PK Lures is giving away a rod and reel combo today and tomorrow. Come down, sign up. And we're also giving away a free PK fishing bucket with a $30 purchase of PK Lures. So come down, best deals of the season, stock up. Now's the time to get going, get ready for ice fishing.
So, Kurt, tell us about PK Lures. What do people need to know about your product line? Because there's a little bit of something for everybody. People like to fish different styles, different techniques. Where do you fit into the market?
We are a local company. We're based out of Linton, North Dakota. So we're a North Dakota company. We have something for everybody. We've got some great stuff for open water fishing, ice fishing, perch, crappie, walleye, you name it. If you're going to go up to Lake Winnipeg, we're all chasing those greenbacks in January through March. Yeah. We've got what you need. Our stuff is dominant up there. Fishing, fall fishing here, we got those 1-ounce ridge gliders. They're deadly. Stock up on them. That red dot glow, you just don't want to go without it. And we got some great perch and crappie stuff as well.
So you mentioned PK Lures, local company out of Linton, North Dakota. Where'd the company get its start? Because we hear all these stories about, okay, this company, that company. It's so cool to have local companies because that means the product is built for our local fishing.
I'm a diehard fisherman. I fish the NWT. I fish the Casino Cups. I'm out there with the anglers. I kind of turn my hobby into my job. They say you shouldn't do that, but I'm a diehard angler. I like to hunt. I just get a kick out of designing different things that helps people catch fish. I like helping people catch fish. I just share experiences, build some memories. This is where it all starts.
They say that, but they also say the best job you can have is what you have a passion for. And I can tell when it comes to ice fishing, you're the guy.
I do. I kind of live for it, If I didn't fish, why would you want to live in North Dakota? It's too cold.
Well, exactly.
So, right now is my favorite time of year. It's the fall fishing, the fall bite. All these big fish are in the area. They're up in Bismarck right now.
I know.
Where generally they don't come here until spring, So what's going on? Why are the fish already here? But they're going to be around here all winter. Now we just need some good ice. We need some good ice and stay safe out there.
So what's the biggest secret when you're looking at, and I ask this question for everybody, so somebody who's just getting into ice fishing, what's the best advice you can tell them?
the best advice, I guess, you want to go out and you want to stay safe and have a positive experience on the ice. And that starts with, being safe, but it's also catching fish. If you're sitting out there all day and not catching fish, it isn't that your area doesn't have fish. You're probably doing something wrong. We have so many pros right now down here, or vendors that have the experience. Come down and pick their brain.
Ask
if you have
questions.
Any questions, now's the time. We have tons of guides that are experts in their field with electronics and with lures and rods. It isn't just one thing, but you kind of got to know what you're doing before you go out there. If not, hire a guide, go out there. But now's the time to get the experience, ask the questions. We're all here to help. We all want to get you to be a better angler and have a positive experience out there.
Well, and there's a camaraderie around ice fishermen as well. It's like everybody's trying. I go out summer fishing, and it's like, okay, don't let anybody know my spot. Ice fishing, it's not like that. It's like, it's all one big spot, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, it's kind of a family for sure, but yeah, a lot of guys don't want to share their secrets. Ice fishing's a little different.
It is.
If there's 6 or 7 huts in one area, chances are something's going on, And it isn't that you got to be on one spot. It's maybe be in some right area, the right structure, or having the right lure, it's got the right flash, or how to tip your lure with the proper bait. There's just a bunch of little secrets. Come down and ask some questions today. Find out.
Ask the questions. Go see Kurt Reef over at PK Lures. They got a lot of great specials going on at Shields Ice Fest, taking place today and tomorrow in the Shields parking lot under the big tent. I'm Steve Bakken on Super Talk 1270.
Hey, Super Talk. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bakken, broadcasting live from the first annual Outdoor Ice Fest under the big tent at Shields. It is in the parking lot. You can't miss it. They have got so much cool stuff out here. So many deals, so many sales. Your chance to register in over $5,000 in prizes and gift cards, including a spot in the sold-out Mobridge Ice Fishing Tournament. That's one of the big ones around here. Gets sold out every year. Today we're going to be here from 9:30 until 7 p.m. Tomorrow the tent is open from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. There's stuff inside, there's stuff outside, there's seminars, sales, Clam, Rapala, Garmin, Eskimo, K-Drill, Ice Auger, Markham Technologies, Strike Master, all kinds of good stuff. In fact, you ought to see some of the new technology that is out there when it comes to electronics. Find it all here. You've got all the experts, all the information you need. If you're not into ice fishing, you want to get into ice fishing, come ask questions. This is the place to do just that. One of the names in tackle that we all know, Northland Tackle, it's one of the names that has been out there for a long time. Dennis Benzie joining us. Dennis, what's new and exciting this year when it comes to tackle? Because you don't think it's like, okay, it's a hook and it's stuff. The technology changes every year.
Oh, there's been a lot of change. The buckshot spoon's been around forever with Northland. Everyone's got one in their box, but now
I might have a couple.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, right? Now they've got a tungsten version of it.
Really?
And the difference is you get a smaller profile spoon that can drop deeper. So, for instance, on a 3/8 ounce tungsten spoon, which is smaller than a normal quarter, you'll be able to drop to those 20-foot plus walleyes, get your lure down faster, get it through the slush faster. And being that tungsten's 70% harder than lead, your rattle's going to be way louder than the normal one will. So the buzzword's tungsten. We've got tungsten buckshots, we've got tungsten slim spoons, and there's a cool new flutter spoon that they changed some things around on that I think is going to be really good for some of those shallow water stuff.
Some of the technology, when you think about lures, and great example is materials. The materials over the last 5, 10, 20 years has changed so much, and that's really brought a lot of different dynamics to the tackle market.
Sometimes people complain about the price of tungsten being more expensive, but really you don't lose that many jigs ice fishing. Maybe you get bit off by a pike once in a while or something like that. So, yeah, the price is a little bit more for tungsten, but there's so many advantages to using tungsten versus lead, and with all the forward-facing sonar stuff that's out there now, being able to attack those fish faster with that tungsten lure would be great.
I found that out waterfowl hunting about 20 years ago. I'm like, okay, this tungsten is worth every extra penny that I might be spending on some of those really high honkers that you want to take a shot at, but you can't. fishing. It gets you into some other places because you mentioned dropping down that much faster, getting through the slush faster. So when you're looking at tweaks when it comes to lures, material has been huge changes. But going back to the old favorites, because it's kind of like there's always those old favorites, and how do you upgrade those to today? And that's something Northland Tackle really focuses in on.
Well, you see some other things you'll see is the little flicker spoons that they've got on them, which is a really tiny little blade that's on the spoon. But it's just, again, an additional attractor.
Little add-on.
Trying and get those fish's attention to come and bite.
So what's the word you would tell somebody that has not been into ice fishing, that maybe has been intrigued by it? What's the word of advice you'd give them? It's like, how do you get into ice fishing? Because, a lot of us are into summertime fishing and getting out in the water. And that's one of the cool things with Northland Tackle, because you see a lot of specialties with fishing lures for ice fishing. Northland Tackle does both sides of that.
Well, and I think when you're talking about somebody that's just getting into it, I mean, I think about my summer tackle, and there's just endless amounts of different types of things I have for summer fishing. Winter fishing can be pretty simple. I mean, you can fish with a hook and a bobber, right? And you can get something like the buckshot rattle spoon, which has been tested for years. You don't have to have a lot of different stuff. You can fish perch, you can fish walleyes with some of the same lures, same sizes, and not have to have tons of stuff to get up and get going for the first time.
I'm a big proponent of the KISS principle, so that's why ice fishing is appealing to me. So you could scale way back and just keep it simple. That's the beauty of ice fishing. Dennis, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Northland Tackle, make sure you stop in at the tent at Shields. It's all part of Ice Fest going on now, the first annual Ice Fest out in the parking lot at Shields under the tent. I'm Steve Bakken on Super Talk 1270.
Talk of the town.
Hello, North Dakota. Joe Gigante, host of the Regular Joe Show, now heard weeknights 9 to midnight here on Super Talk 1270. Together we'll tackle the hottest topics, be it politics, entertainment, or the culture, unapologetically through the lens of true conservatism, all while remembering to laugh and have a little bit of fun. Live life boldly. The Regular Joe Show, weekday evening starting at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
This is Outdoor Issues with Neil Roberts and North Dakota Game and Fish outreach biologist Greg Gullickson.
We're in the midst of fall in North Dakota. It's deer season for many, but lots going on, Greg, including birds.
For most of us deer hunters, especially myself, having that coveted buck tag in North Dakota, I still take that opportunity to still chase some pheasants, some sharp-tailed grouse. And the Hungarian partridge have been really good this year. Right in the heart of migration right now. It's tough to decide, Neil. Do I need my rifle? Do I need my shotgun? Do I need my upland game vest? Should I have decoys with me? We're just in that meaty part of the hunting season where there's opportunities everywhere in the outdoors. And for me, even this morning, Neil, I actually took a break from the deer hunt and took the dogs and went out and chased a few roosters. So just a lot of great opportunities for those of us in North Dakota to pursue whatever you want. It's a great time to be an outdoors person in North Dakota.
On behalf of all hunting dogs, I say a big thank you to Greg Gullickson. Hey, we're going to talk some late fall fishing when we come back.
Let Skydancer Casino and Resort be your destination for entertainment and gaming. Win tickets to Minnesota Vikings home football games. Skydancer will be giving away 10 premium seats to each event. Visit their website for details on how to win a chance to watch Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, and the Vikings' high-powered offense up close and in person. Also coming to Skydancer on November 16th, Define the Fight. Are you ready for war? This fight card is not only complete, but completely stacked. Come early and take advantage of our November Riches promotion for a chance to win up to $1,500 cash after registering. This promotion will run throughout November. While at Skydancer, savor the finest certified Angus steaks at Fire's Edge Steakhouse. The vast dinner menu offers an elevated dining experience in a relaxed atmosphere. Our full bar has top-of-the-line liquors, wines, ales, and stouts for your choosing. With 98 guest rooms in our tower and 48 large side rooms, scenic views and elevated amenities await your arrival. That's Skydancer Casino and Resort, where the sky's the limit, near Belcourt, North Dakota.
Talking fall hunting and fishing today on Outdoor Issues. And Greg, one of our mutual friends we spotted on Facebook here recently, caught some really nice walleyes, so not too late to get out.
It is not, especially on the big water. I'm talking Lake Sakakawea, and it can happen at Devil's Lake, Lake Oahe. Some great fall fishing opportunities are still out there, and for those that didn't get that deer tag, maybe it's time for even a cast and blast where you bring the shotgun with, and you also catch some walleyes. You might be able to find that rooster on the shoreline of Lake Sakakawea. So get out and enjoy it. It's our time to thrive.
I like it a lot. Thanks, Greg. Hey, that brings this report to a close. If you miss one, catch us on the website outdoorissues.com. Until next time, I'm Neil Roberts.
You've been listening to Outdoor Issues, brought to you in part by Skydancer Casino and Resort, where the sky is the limit, and by Minot's best new burger, Rocky's Burgers, Franks, and Fries, opening November 18th.
The Todd Starnes Daily Update. Weekday mornings at 11:30 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 app. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bakken, broadcasting live from Ice Fest, the first annual outdoor Ice Fest under the big tent in the Shields parking lot. Make sure you stop on out. Your chance to register for over $5,000 in prizes, gift cards, including a spot in the sold-out Mobridge Ice Fishing Tournament. We're going to talk about that right now. We've got Jesse Konold. He is the chair of the Mobridge Ice Fishing Tournament. Jesse, 25th year this year.
25 years. We're absolutely can't believe that we got to where we're at, and it wouldn't be without a great sponsorship and a great partnership. Shields was actually our original sponsor way back in the day.
25 years ago.
We started sponsorships at 23 years ago, and Shields was one of the first ones. Actually, was one of my old employers back in the day. So,
tell us about the impetus of where this started. A bunch of guys getting together, going, "Hey, let's have a little ice fishing tournament. Let's have a little fun down here in Mobridge."
So it was interesting. There's a group of our tourism committee. There was 5 people 25 years ago. Not a lot of anglers were going out on Lake Oahe. Kind of scared of it. It's the river, right? So You got current, you got thin ice.
Like, where's the channel this week?
Yeah, where's the channel this week? But then there was a group that came out from the eastern side of our state. Loved to ice fish. They're like, well, this is a lake, just a really, really big lake. Yes, we got to worry about current. We got to worry about ice conditions. But anyways, it started with 50 individual people fished our first tournament. The next year, they're like, oh, this is kind of popular. We're going to try to keep going and build on this. The next year, we had 50 teams that came out and fished. And then it just started going and going and going, and word got out. We were going, 150, 250, 300 teams. And then all of a sudden, to be honest with you, I think social media, I think able to advertise in different ways. Word got out, our great sponsorships, our prizes went from, I love seeing Mr. Heater here. Mr. Heater was one of our first big prize was a Mr. Heater, and the next year was an auger. That was our next big prize. And now we're at 575 teams sold out, $300,000 worth of cash and prizes this year. And it's so great to see. I mean, we call it the mini Sturgis on ice. I mean, it is such a great time down there.
And it is sold out every year. Basically, the only way you get into it is you're kind of grandfathered in, because people don't give up their spots, and that's why teams may change a little bit, but the team doesn't change because they want to not lose that spot. But you guys do offer for some sponsorships like Shields, an opportunity for them to give one away here for an entrance. But you also do a little bit of a lottery, too, for some different
we do. It's interesting how we were sitting around a table, and what we came up with is we're a very loyal group. Our whole committee is like, where have we started? How did we build? So that's where the guaranteed team piece came into it. And we're like, all right, those anglers that help us build this thing, they know what, they should get an opportunity to claim their spot year after year. And that's about 480 teams or so. And that stays pretty steady up and down. And then we open up the lottery. This year we had roughly, 80 spots. That it's free to get into the lottery. You can choose, kind of like getting a deer tag. You can choose to get in. We don't have preference points, although some anglers really wish that we would have that. And then we draw. We had a little over 800 people enter into the lottery for those 60 spots to get into the tournament. And then we do reserve for our major sponsors like Shields. They do get the opportunity to have a spot every single year. Some of them take it in-house. Some of them choose to give it to the public and do a drawing. And that's why we're here today, to make sure that, for those that want to enter our tournament, this is truly really one of the only ways to get in, and probably your best odds for our 2025 tournament. A fun fact about the way we also have our eBay spots that we get done every year, and I don't know if you saw that in your research at all. Those are for guaranteed, so you can go in year after year after year. Well, this year they sold for $5,400, $5,800, and $7,400. So, I mean, there's a need and a want for people to still come down and have a great time in Mobridge. But this opportunity today and tomorrow to sign up, it's from what we see is definitely our best odds of getting into our tournament, and it's free.
So 25th annual ice fishing tournament down in Mobridge, probably the biggest tournament around here as far as ice fishing is concerned. Where do you see the next 5-10 years going? Is there a ceiling on how many you guys can handle? Is it the committee? Is it the volunteers? Is that what you're subject to on how many teams you can entertain?
A great question, and we get that asked a lot of where's our ceiling? And honestly, it's facility. It's January. It's South Dakota. It's cold. Our rules meeting is held in the historic Shearhow Arena right on Main Street. Our capacity is where we're at. 1,200 people is all we can fit in there for our rules meeting. We do a true tournament format. It's a little different than a Devil's Lake or a Brainerd. It's a true two-man tournament. You're getting launched. Fun fact, again, we launch our 575 teams in less than 21 minutes out the door.
Wow.
We get them going. If we could bump it to 800, I think we could fill it. I know we would find the volunteers. That's what makes that's the secret sauce of our whole community. Everybody comes on board. We'll have 130 volunteers to get things cranking. But it's facility. We don't have space.
Pheasant season ends. Ice fishing season starts down in Mobridge. And there's no eel pout down there, though, right?
We have eel pout.
You do have eel pout. All right.
I've caught them on the ice, unfortunately, yes.
Be sure to check it out. It's the Mobridge 25th Annual Ice Fishing Tournament. It is one of the hardest tournaments to get into, but if you come get registered, you could win an entry right here at Shields Ice Fest. I'm Steve Bakken on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270. Talk of the town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bakken broadcasting from Ice Fest outside of the parking lot at Shields 3rd and Expressway. This is their first annual outdoor Ice Fest under the big tent. It's heated. It's beautiful. I don't even think we need the heat in here because it is absolutely gorgeous outside for November. We're going to be here today and tomorrow. Doors are open at the tent from 9:30 until 7 tonight, and then tomorrow from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. A lot of seminars, a lot of sales on different product lines, a lot of information out there. Of course, over $5,000 in prizes and gift cards, including a spot in that sold-out Mobridge ice fishing tournament. The coolest part about this is all the different vendors, and there's always something cool that comes out every year. And you think it's tackle, it's rods, it's electronics. I'm like, the innovation is unbelievable in that space. Amped Outdoors, Matt Lardenois, one of our friends here. Tell us a little bit about Amped, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Amped Outdoors, we're based out of Hudson, Wisconsin. So we're kind of right in the center of the ice belt, and we were one of the first lithium battery companies to build a lithium battery for ice fishing and portable electronics. So we have a very wide variety of them, anywhere from 8 amp hour battery for your traditional Vexlar and flasher that weighs in at under 2 pounds, all the way up to 52 amp hours that'll run these Garmin units for multiple days on the ice. So very good selection of battery products, very lightweight, and just something that, it's a good lead acid replacement and just keep you powered all day.
Okay, so I remember when I was younger and would go out ice fishing with my uncles and cousins, and you're lugging out these big lead core batteries, or you're hooking up to the truck out on the ice trying to get your power just so you can get a little bit of whatever electronics was back in the day. It's like, and it wasn't much, or maybe a little heater going or something. And of all the things that are out there, and electronics is the biggest piece. Without the power to the electronics, doesn't happen. Over the last 5 years, battery technology has been unbelievable. It has come a long way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What makes AMP that cutting edge out there?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just the unique sizes we've had. So we've listened to all of our customers over the years, and, you talked about electronics that really have evolved and advanced. they draw a lot of power. And that was just our main focus, is how can we make something incredibly lightweight and will power these high draw units that are out there, like your Garmins and Hummingbirds and Lowrance units that, you know, with the big screens. It seems like more and more people want those larger screens out in the water now, and we've been able to make a really small,
as
compact.
I get older
lightweight
and my
battery.
glasses are, I need better glasses. My arms aren't as long. The bigger screen comes in really handy.
Absolutely. So you want to bring all this high-tech stuff out there, you got to have something to power it, and it just wasn't feasible with those heavy batteries. So with lithium's advanced so far over the years, and we've made a great solution. You know, it's not just light, but it's that longer life expectancy. I mean, this is a battery you can bring out with you for 10 years and not having to worry about,
So is there a
replacing it.
ceiling on battery technology right now? Because it seems like Amped, being on that cutting edge, there's always something new coming up, whether it's the weight, the size, the duration. There's just, it seems like it's always changing.
Yeah, lithium has kind of been the hot thing, and there's other technologies out there. Problem is that, I think you're going to see advancements over time. We've kind of reached that ceiling on lithium, but, we've added technology to the lithium batteries, and there will be additional technologies that'll come out in the future. We've tested a lot of them. They're just really expensive or really just not as advanced as the lithium is today. With electronic vehicles, what Elon Musk and all those guys are doing out there, we could definitely bring a lot of that technology and latest and greatest to the fishing industry, and we'll continue to evolve and advance over time.
The ability to recharge that lithium product so fast too, that's come a long way, because it's like, okay, I got to throw this on my battery tender and get it recharged, and it takes a day and it takes a half a day, and it takes a couple hours. Now it's like, boom, done.
Yeah, portable power stations that we have. I mean, you could charge them in an hour and a half, and even a lot of the battery chargers that we sell with them, you're easily going to recharge a battery overnight if you drain them down 100%. So, it's evolved quite a bit, and lithium batteries are capable of accepting a faster charge.
Matt with Amped Outdoors. If you're looking for some battery technology, come talk to him. He's got a great product line, a lot of great stuff on sale here as well this weekend with Ice Fest taking place at Shields. I'm Steve Bakken on Super Talk 1270.
News, talk, and sports for Bismarck Mandan. Super Talk 1270. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bakken, broadcasting live from Shields Ice Fest, the first annual outdoor Ice Fest in the parking lot. Okay, I have to qualify that a little bit. We're in a really big tent, which is heated, and it's nice. So it's actually warmer in here than it is outside, even though it's really nice outside. And I know I've talked to a lot of people that are chomping at the bit going, okay, we really enjoy this fall, but we need some ice because we're ice fisher people. And it's hard to ice fish without ice. It's just the way it works. Joining us right now on the program, Brian Jansen from Garmin. And Garmin has been one of the names that have been out there forever. Cutting edge electronics, whether you're fishing in the summer or you're fishing in the winter, doesn't matter. Garmin's the name. Garmin is that company that has been on the cutting edge of anything to do with fishing, anything to do with the water, if it's frozen or if it's not frozen. But the ice fishing side of things, Garmin's really had a lot of great innovation. Although I do have to question one thing, because you've got the big screens and you're showing all the cool stuff and what's on the bottom. I have to ask, what's with the school bus on the bottom of the water? It looks like a school bus.
Well, first, thanks for having me. But yes, that is actually a school bus. And what makes it great from being a school bus is that you can tell that it's a school bus.
You can tell it's a school bus.
You can see the windows. You can see where the door would be. It's really quite incredible.
Who parked that at the bottom of the lake? That's all I got to ask.
Yes, I don't know. Someone must have been having a bad day. I don't know. Well, luckily there is no one inside that school bus, so it is a sunken school bus at the bottom of a lake.
But the detail on that,
it is incredible.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
I walked by and went, why is there a school bus on the bottom of the lake?
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of an attention getter.
It's very much an attention getter, yeah. So that's a lake. I believe it's actually in Oklahoma, if I remember correctly. But it kind of shows how far our live scope has gone. So it started with Panoptics, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago. And, it was sort of this idea of being able to bring imagery of what's below the water. And it's really grown. I mean, in the past 5 years or so, you've seen our live scope go from being able to at least see forward and see, arcs and fish. And now you can see detail below the water. It's really, really incredible. And as you said, we've got it up on the big screen. You can come take a look, see, we have some simulators running that kind of get you to see what different looks are below the water, different color schemes, all that good stuff. So it's incredible.
So can you tell what kind of fish?
No, you can't really tell what kind of fish.
But it's getting there.
It's getting there.
Holy crap.
And
it's crazy. Folks, it's really getting there. You got to come see this.
And and in some ways, if you get out there on the water with it and you learn it, you kind of learn like what different species look like. After you catch them a few times, you kind of go, okay, so that's what a walleye looks like on the screen. That's what a crappie looks like on the screen. So while it can't tell you what it is, you end up learning. And the learning curve is pretty quick. Our stuff's usually pretty easy to use. Our stuff's usually very high tech, like you mentioned.
Well, that's the other side of this too. I wanted to talk to you about because, technology is great, but some of it's really complicated. Mm-hmm. And I've got friends. I'll hop in their fishing boat and go, "Yeah, right. How'd you learn all that?" And they're like, "Yeah, we didn't. It's just like." It was preset, and I punch in a card, and it does what it does. Mm-hmm. Not Garmin. Garmin is it's user friendly. Mm-hmm. That is the coolest thing with the Garmin brand and the Garmin lines is they are so simple to use.
Right. It's you got to remember. So we got our start big in aviation, years and years and years ago. And that all funneled down to the marine side of things. So it has to be quality, it has to be easy to use.
And quick to use, too. Yep. You can't be sitting there fumbling because of the aviation side of things. You can't fumble. It's like, okay, I got something going on. I got to be able to use it easy.
Right. Yep.
And that's gotten into the aquatics.
Right, yep. And you'll see, like, our menus are plain, simple English. There's not different buttons to remember. You have to remember this icon means that. No, it's quite literally you want menu, press menu. You want sonar, hit sonar. You want to change a menu item, it's right there written out in front of you. So it's real simple, real easy to make combinations. You can make your own custom combo screen. You can do all sorts of goodies depending on what you want to do.
See, that's the other cool side of it too is you customize it to whatever you want. If you're fishing this type or this kind of structure or these techniques, you can program it to complement whatever you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah. Customization is huge on our part because everyone has their own favorite color combos. Everyone has their own favorite look of it. While our presets are great and we usually recommend everyone just go out and use it, you can then after you get used to how it is, you can go and get as crazy you want with it. Change your colors, change your combos, change certain settings on there if you really want to. So,
is there an icon or a button on the Garmin yet that says, put your lure here, stupid, and you'll catch a fish?
No.
Okay, I need that. That's what I need.
Yep. As I say, we're always working on something, but right now it's still, it's not catching the fish for you. It still requires some work on the other side, but it's going to do a heck of a job to make it so that you can be the best angler you can be.
Come in under the tent, check out the Garmin booth. They have got incredible electronics. You will not believe what they've got, cutting-edge technology. I'm Steve Bakken, broadcasting live. Brian Jansen from Garmin. One of my favorite booths, just from an eye candy perspective, walking by and checking that out. Absolutely amazing technology. You will not believe the clarity and the definition that is in the latest Garmin products. Absolutely phenomenal out there. We're broadcasting live from Shields Ice Fest, the first annual outdoor ice fest under the big tent in the Shields parking lot. I'm Steve Bakken on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk.
Super Talk 1270, you're tuned to Talk of the Town. I'm Steve Bakken, along with Joe Sheehan from Benchmark Mortgage. He is your mortgage planner. Give him a call at 701-400-3926. It's crazy. It's still like you're one of three phone numbers I remember, Joe. It's kind of... Given today's age when we don't remember phone numbers anymore, I always remember your phone number.
That's awesome. That's what I want. Remember, just remember this number.
701-400-3926. All right, so I got a couple questions for you. Now, we saw a huge spike in the stock market. We saw some things going on over in the Asian markets, different foreign markets, just from Trump winning the election. Things have settled in a little bit now. What are things looking like? Because this is going to have a big play into what takes place with the Fed the rest of the year when it comes to mortgage rates.
Yeah, and of course the bet on mortgage rates is that mortgage rates or rates are higher under Trump. Now, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean that they go higher. It just means that maybe they don't go as low as they might have under, a Kamala, administration. And why is that? Well, because rates do worse when the economy's hot. That's how it should work. And the bet is that Trump economy is a hotter economy, that it's a growth economy, that it's a company that business thrives in because of deregulation and friendly tax policies. And so that's not unexpected. Now, but where could the Trump administration help interest rates still moderate and maybe go lower? Well, I will tell you something nobody is talking about, but the deficit is a massive landmine that the economy is waiting to hit regarding interest rates.
$35 trillion right now.
Literally have. Go ahead.
$35 trillion right now. And that was one of the questions I had because, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they have been put in charge of a new department in the federal government to cut bloat, fat, pork, waste. Elon was talking about out of a $6 trillion budget, taking $2 trillion right off the top just from waste, increasing government efficiency. That plays into the deficit as well.
And that helps interest rates.
Yes.
So, but now that's not overnight though. That doesn't help you overnight. That's a longer play, right?
Right.
And so what would help interest rates right away is the job market getting soft, the economy not doing as well. That would help you get better interest rates right away. So I don't know. There's hope that the Trump economy is still a soft landing for everybody, including interest rates. Do interest rates have to get higher under that economy? They don't, because here's the two. Like I said, the first thing is the deficit. If you don't have to worry about the deficit, then that can help interest rates. And real quick to explain why that would help interest rates is, number one, if people lose confidence in buying your debt, you have to pay them more to take it. And so one of the things you had to worry about with the direction our debt was going is, could our economy have been downgraded, meaning we have to pay more to everybody who buys our treasuries to take them? Well, if we get it under control, hopefully we can still be the best place to buy safe money from. And that means we could pay less for people to buy it from us. Now, the other thing that was out there that was going to be an issue is inflation. The producer price index just came in this morning. The CPI came in. The consumer price index came in yesterday, a little hot, over 3%. The Fed targets 2%. And the PPI comes in a little hot, about 0.1 hotter than it was expected. It was expected to come in at 2.1, comes in at 2.2. And so inflation is still a stubborn bugger. Maybe a Trump economy can help inflation while growth. Now, that's tough to do. You're gonna heat up the economy and try to control inflation. That's nearly an impossible task. But what we do expect to come from Trump is that friendly energy policy. And lower energy prices help us domestically control prices, you hope, to the consumer, especially on the core goods.
One other piece with that I want to talk to you about is the job numbers, because that was the Biden administration was pushed. Oh, job numbers, job growth, which doesn't help the Fed manage the inflation side either.
Well, Okay, so you gave me my third reason. The Trump economy doesn't have to be that. You gave me the third reason. The Trump economy doesn't have to be bad on interest rates, even though what it means is maybe interest rates don't get better faster. But here's the third reason, is that, what did you say that Vivek and Trump were going to cut immediately?
$2 trillion off the budget.
Off
a $6 trillion budget.
What is a lot of that going to involve? That's going to involve jobs.
Government employees that don't do a damn thing.
That's going to mean cutting government employees. Now, the downside for this is one of the things that has been driving such positive job reports has been government jobs. One of the biggest areas of full-time growth and wage inflation has been spending on government jobs. So when you look at the last jobs reports, one of the reasons why the Fed is a little bit skittish about the jobs numbers, you keep seeing, well, God, unemployment's low. Why is the Fed worried about jobs? Well, because lately the creation has been in service sector and it's been part-time jobs. The private payrolls have been good but weakening. And so, well, you get a strong economy, you get job growth in the private sector, but you cut government jobs, and it may keep these. So you're going to create some unemployment at the same time, which means the Fed doesn't have to aggressively control inflation, you hope. And the outcome might be that we see there's been like I told you, there's a widening distance between where the 10-year yield is at and the 30-year fixed. Normally, it's about 1.5%. So historically, the 10-year yield's been at like the 10 years at 4.5, like it's at 4.4 today. You'd expect the 30-year fixed rate to be around 6%. Well, it's at about 4.4, and the 30-year fixed rate on average is over 7%. Maybe these things will help that bring the economy back into balance, but it may not favor rates going lower faster, like we were expecting under an economy that looked like it was possibly weakening on the job side, and inflation was coming back under control.
A lot to juggle, whether or not there's a couple rate cuts by the end of the year. Who knows? We'll see what happens with that, but it's always a good idea to have a mortgage plan in place. 70% chance the Fed still hands over a quarter before the end of the year. All right, we'll cross our fingers for that. But again, always a good idea to have a mortgage plan in place. And that's why you give Joe Sheehan a call. He is your mortgage planner over at Benchmark Mortgage. Give him a call at 701-400-3926. Joe, always a pleasure, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Steve.
This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270, you're tuned to Talk of the Town. I'm Steve Bakken, along with Tom Briggle, owner of the Bismarck Bobcats. And Tom, welcome home. You guys were on the road for a little bit.
Yeah, I've been back in Bismarck for a game for, I think it's the fourth weekend. We're down for 3 weekends, and the good news is
it was a good 3 weekends.
We continued to win. I think we're 15-1, but it sure is going to be nice for the boys to be home. Spent a lot of time on the bus, most definitely, and of course, in that vein, unrelated to the game, but we talked last week about how one of our players' father had passed, so the boys all jumped on a bus again on Monday and came down for his father's funeral, and it was just very touching and very nice. And as far as celebration of life, not a terrific event. But so they're on the bus. That's no doubt about that. So they're so damn happy to be in our barn and with our fans raising a little hell, and it's just going to be a terrific weekend. And
tell you what, I
was a little better than they've been, for sure. And we're also facing a little adversity in the sense that I think we're only going to have 9 forwards this weekend, and we had to bring one from Pittsburgh and one from, it's escaping me, Sioux Falls. Just to have a roster. We're pretty dinged up. All this winning is hard on us.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about that road trip because you guys kind of front-loaded, and you make the schedule, so hey, we'll blame you. Been on the road a lot. Building team chemistry and building the locker room, sometimes that's a good thing, especially when you combine that with winning, because you guys have been on a little bit of a tear, and it's been a hell of a road trip. Just phenomenal start to the season. That's got to pay dividends later when you start getting those home games later in the season. But that chemistry, that spending all that time together, spending that time in the bus, even going down to the celebration of life for the boy's father who passed away, getting that bus time together, that really builds a team. It really does.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I will tell you that, this team is really tight, like in a lot of ways. And, the thing is, Nico Kapitanovic in particular, and Chido, they bring in such character kids, but, it's a long season, like 7 months to be together with guys you don't know, and everyone's got their own personalities. But I talk with the boys a lot. That's kind of rewarding for me. And they just say that this group of guys, they're just so together. And the road trip that you allude to, just helps cement it, because, the buses, let's figure it out, like 40 by 16. So there's a lot of togetherness there. And they're definitely together. We have a terrific locker room. We have terrific kids, just terrific kids. And, of course, Garrett and Rawhauser and then Lane with the goalies, it's just a terrific culture, like Bismarck Bobcats. And, I'm just really pleased, and it's going to pay off on the ice. Like you said, it's still a long season. We're just injury riddled. I think we have 7 guys injured, and so we need to overcome that, like every year. But we're really deep. We're deep enough to continue to compete, and kind of excited for the weekend. And I hope that all those guys get healthy and get back.
North Iowa coming to town, the North Iowa Bulls, like you mentioned, they're a little bit of an improved team this year.
They are, without a doubt. I think they're just under 500, and they've got some good talent, solid talent. So I'm excited to have them in. We've talked about how this year we expanded the division, so we have 2 new teams. And, initially I was kind of like, I don't know if that would be my favorite, but it's kind of growing on me, because the fans get different flavors of players and such. And we still got Aberdeen down the road, and St. Cloud we haven't seen. We have seen Minot and Austin. But it's kind of interesting. It's kind of it's growing on me. Like I said, I'm so into the rivalries, maybe because just been doing it so long. But the new flavor, the new flavor lollipop when they come in or when we go there, it's kind of fun.
So usually when you're doing a home-and-home weekend, and we're doing back-to-back weekends because you've got North Iowa this weekend at home, and then you're down to Mason City the following weekend. Is there any difficulty in, we just showed them what we've got at our rink, but now we're at their rink and it's going to be a little bit tougher? What are your thoughts on doing the back-to-back weekends with North Iowa? I mean, you guys are going to get to know each other very well over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the good news with that is that's what plays into the rivalries. Like, I think the coaches like it. I think the players like it because it's intense. So whatever happens this weekend, then next weekend, whichever team is, on the losing or the split end, whatever it is, has an opportunity for whatever you want to call it, revenge. But also, the players kind of get to not like each other that much, so the intensity level grows. So I like the back-to-back. Scheduling in general, and we've talked about over the years, and like this year we're so front-end loaded, and I've avoided, as we've talked about, Pheasant Opener like the plague, but this year there was no option. So, Bismarck just being one of the stronger teams, we just took it. Turned out we damn near sold out, so that's okay, too. But the back-to-back, it still gives us the rivalries. I like it. I think we have some others like that. It might be Aberdeen home and away 2 weekends in a row, just as the schedule worked out, and I think that's a plus, really.
All right, a lot going on this weekend. Of course, there's no place to have a hockey game than the VFW Arena. Puck drops at 7:15 this weekend, Friday and Saturday night. And you've got a lot going on for the fans and for the veterans this weekend.
Yeah, we do for sure. And as far as the Bismarck, like the VFW, I get so many compliments from just players that we recruit and parents, and we just think we have one of the best shows in junior hockey. And, the fans and the Flames and just Brad with the music. And I don't know, it's really fun. And we're, like I said, not arrogant about it, but just through a lot of time and a lot of people's effort, we kind of kick in some ice. And I like that. But this weekend special, you allude to, so Brad's got some special military jerseys. It's our military weekend. So both Friday and Saturday, the boys will be donning military jerseys and also special military helmets. And they're very cool. And the objective there is last year, I think we raised about $6,000 or $7,000 for the, honestly. So we raised about, I think, 6 or 7 last year. We're hoping to raise even more this year for that event. It's really, quite the event that the military gets to go on, and we're glad to be part of that. And so we're going to auction those off on both nights and raise some money, and really excited about that. And not only that, but God, they look so cool. The boys are just going to, they'll feel good in them, and the fans will love it. It's a terrific look, and we're really excited about the weekend.
I saw the jerseys. They look really cool, too. So if you want a commemorative jersey, Brad showed them to me, and they are phenomenal. Looking forward to seeing those on the ice. He was telling me about the helmets. I hadn't seen the helmet yet, so looking forward to that this weekend.
Helmet, we did that last year, and they're really cool. They're in the same pattern, same design. They're made at a place in Fargo, actually, and they're painted. I mean, they come up with their design, and then they repeat the pattern on the helmets, and they're just slick as heck, really. And so maybe some of the old beer leaguer veterans want to have a helmet on Thursday nights, and so they can buy one of these in an auction. They're really cool, very cool.
Going to a great cause, helping the Western North Dakota Honor Flight. Of course, they're sending the veterans to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials. Been part of that for years, so a great opportunity to give back to help the veterans and support those that have served for us. Veterans Weekend taking place with the Bismarck Bobcats, home, of course, all things Bobcats, BismarckBobcats.com. Download the app. Get your tickets. Probably going to be another sold-out weekend, Tom. So we are your home for the Bismarck Bobcats. So. I think so. It's always a good weekend for Veterans Weekend. We are the home of your Bobcats, home and away, right here on Super Talk 1270. Tom, best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Steve. We're excited.
Talk of the town.